And the winner is Donald Trump. Welcome to Cup of Joe. As always, I'm your host, Jason McNeil, and today we're going to discuss the recent election in the United States. Again, the winner of the election, Donald Trump. Now, I kind of predicted this previously. You can guess for yourself why, or you can watch my video and listen to why I thought he was going to win. And I believe still that's why he won. So basically, look, I've heard a lot of, I don't want to call it whining, but I've heard a lot of complaining. I've heard a lot of groaning. I've heard a lot of what I'll call fear-mongering. I've heard a lot of controversy over the fact that he won, but at the end of the day, he won an election. That's it, right? Same as every other president that's ever won in the history of America. They won an election, they're going to be president for 4 years, and we're going to have another election. So, having said that, let's focus on why did he win, right? Because that's what everyone wants to know. Why did Donald Trump win? And the media, I believe, is being very irresponsible in explaining to you why he won. They're still trying to continue their narrative. So here's the thing. He won because Hillary Clinton was a horrible candidate, all right? Can we get that straight? Horrible candidate, right? She was uninspirational. She did not get people to come out to vote, right? She seemed secretive, right? Again, she was a Democrat that was pro-war, right? So at the end of the day, you had a candidate who was dishonest, who was arrogant, who just basically behaved as though the election was going to appoint her the president of the United States, and for that, she lost. The second reason that she lost, or that Donald Trump won, was the media. Now, in my opinion, the media refused to respect their viewers. They refused to respect the public. They refused to respect the voters that were voting for Donald Trump. And all of that is very palpable. It's tangible. The voting public can see it. And they don't like it. And it agitates them. And they feel like they're being sold a line of nonsense. And at the end of the day, that means they're going to go this way. Now, I'll concede the voter turnout was crap, right? It was like 50%, 51%. So again, it comes to the fact neither of these candidates were very inspirational in what they were selling, right? They didn't get people who wanted to come out and who wanted to vote, okay? So what you had with these protests now, this not my president, right? All of that nonsense, it's basically shows you that America's full of pots and kettles. These are the same people that said Donald Trump has to accept what happens in the election or else he's ruining democracy. But then when they lost, they don't want to accept it. They don't want to concede. It's just, look, people, it seems to me a lot of times people don't really want democracy. They want to get their way and make sure everyone else believes that's the majority. And that's it. And sometimes they're wrong. And in this case, maybe they were wrong, right? So here's my problems with generally how the media treated it. It was that they refused to respect the public and they reported very one-sidedly, regardless of what was really going on. Things they focused on racism and sexism, right? Like Donald Trump was the forefather of racism and sexism in America. Excuse me, where were the racist and sexist votes before Donald Trump, right? Where were the people like David Duke and the KKK? These people, they get a vote in America every year. It's not just now they get a vote. Every year they get a vote. They're not disqualified for their views, right? And like it or not, Hillary Clinton would like those people to vote for her. It doesn't mean she's going to let them run the country, right? But media focuses on that. Where's the racists? Where are the sexists? Where can we find these views? Because they're divisive, and they let those people speak for the Trump campaign. Nuclear codes. Media spoke about Donald Trump like nuclear codes were the new Twitter, right? Like, we're going to give him the nuclear codes, and rather than call Rosie O'Donnell names on Twitter, he's going to nuke her house. Or he's going to send nukes to, God knows where. It's not going to. It's bad for business. I said this before. It's bad for business. It doesn't look good, and Donald Trump does care how he's remembered as president. Let's be honest. He has an ego, right? He's a selfish guy who wants to be remembered as a certain type of successful person. He's not going to just nuke the world. It's nonsense. But you guys report it like it's reality. Like it's going to happen. The other thing, celebrity endorsements. Who the hell cares? This is out-of-touch media speaking to people and saying, look, we have these out-of-touch people to bolster our points. Donald Trump is trying to speak to working class Americans that are struggling to get by. And whether you believe him or not, or you agree with him or not, someone making $20 million of film doesn't sway me. It doesn't make me think, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe the other side is right. But you guys feel like, hey, in this little bubble of Hollywood, these are the voices that matter. They're not. And working class people feel like I'm being ignored, and you want to tell me what this person thinks or that person thinks. And you want to make fun of Donald Trump because Chachi is the only one that endorses him. Again, maybe no celebrity endorsements is the way to go. right? Because I'm a regular person, I'm not a celebrity, and I don't think that person understands what I'm going through. They might be a nice person, they might be empathetic. I don't think they get it fully. So again, you focus on these things that to me are irrelevant, and this is a very serious thing. It's an election. It's who's going to run the country. Next problem I have, the fear mongering seems to continue. It seems that the media, as I said, is continuing with their narrative that, racists run the country now, and it's all about sexism, and Donald Trump won because of racism. Listen, I watched the Van Jones comments. Yes, that was racist. Yes, that was stupid. Yes, it was inflammatory. Listen, if people are calling you at home Van Jones and saying, should I leave the country because I'm a Muslim? Should I like hide because I'm a Mexican? You as a responsible person in the media should say, no, don't worry, it's fine. The guy was elected president. We have checks and balances in America. And all of the fear-mongering rhetoric, it was just amped up. He's still just a guy that has to pass things through Congress and through the Senate, and everything that we do in America is just going to continue the regular way. All right? Maybe even apologize to them for making them feel this way. But what did he do? Oh, it's hard for people to explain to their kids what's going on here, what's happened. Okay, if Hillary Clinton won the election, is there less racism in America? Is there less sexism? Do you have less to explain to your kids? No, that's the problem. The problem is that too many people have been acting like it's all fine. It's all good. There is no problem. And now you're like, well, what am I going to say to my kids? Say to your kids, this is how democracy works. And now this team has won for 4 years, and then we'll vote again. Maybe start reporting a little more responsibly so people can form a realistic view and won't be so cynical of the news. Maybe you should do that. Instead of ramping up the, hey, you know what, Nazis are going to run America now, and this alt-right movement. The media is fueling the alt-right movement. The media is telling white supremacists that you have a voice in America, that you're the one that matters, right? When people on the left are saying, this is not my president, this doesn't count, I'm not going to, that's not looked at as like a problem in America or a problem for democracy. But what they will do is they'll take one or two people that do, violent acts of racism and they'll be like, this is Donald Trump's presidency. Like all of the people that voted Donald Trump are racist. Here's the thing. When the media tells you that Hillary Clinton won the educated vote, the college educated vote by 9 points or 10 points or whatever it was, that still means that millions of college educated people voted for Donald Trump. Millions of Mexican Americans voted for Donald Trump. Millions of black people, millions of females or women voted for Donald Trump. Why is their voice ignored so that you can say, well, racism won the election? Right? Does it not occur to media that there are people who immigrate to America legally, go through the process, and are actually proud to become Americans, and those people, whether white or not, might object to the illegal immigration problem that America has? Maybe it's not, I have a problem with illegal immigration, I hate all Mexicans. Maybe that's not true. Right? And maybe you guys should be a little more responsible with the way you report so that people can take you seriously. Just like you should have taken Donald Trump's campaign seriously. Right? Now, the next thing that I'll say is, again, I'll reiterate, there are checks and balances in American democracy. And at the end of the day, if we watch Donald Trump, how he's setting up his cabinet, right? He's changing tone. Look, when you listen to the speeches, Donald Trump gave a speech that was a definite change in tone. I feel like the media didn't really respect that. They acted like, well, we don't know if we can trust him. Fair enough. Hillary Clinton gave a speech. It was late, but it was the right tone. Barack Obama has said nothing but the right things. All the politicians, Bernie Sanders, they put on their big people pants and they're saying the right things. But media refuses to acknowledge this. Media refuses to sort of take it down a notch. They seem to want to push the controversy. So if you look at Donald Trump's cabinet, it seems like, okay, there's going to be a lot of rich people, but he's diversifying it, right? He's appointing people that don't agree with him, critics. He may actually appoint Mitt Romney. He's appointing women. It really is a question mark. And I feel like we should treat it that way and report now, not so much on the rhetoric that he did. He was saying inflammatory stuff and the media was cranking it up. Now he's not saying inflammatory stuff. The media should respect that and try to be realistic about what the presidency is going to look like. Because we have real issues on the table, right? We have, especially in Canada, trade, energy, right? Oil pipelines and stuff. Everything is going on its head right now because Donald Trump is the president of the United States. So trade, energy, we have international diplomacy. How's he going to handle that? Will he appoint Mitt Romney, right? Jobs in America. The guy has been on the phone with Tim Cook from Apple. The guy apparently has saved some carrier jobs in America. So it's not just bluster. He's trying to keep jobs in America. He's doing that, right? So at the end of the day, we got to look at everything in sort of a realistic way and say, okay, he's a bit of a question mark. He is a bit of a loose cannon. But as he goes through it, let's be realistic about what he's doing. Maybe some of these outside of the box thoughts, some of these outside of the box thinkers that he's appointing, they might actually be good for America. Now, I'll be honest, and I just want to say this lastly. I live in Toronto, and we saw this with Rob Ford, okay? And people can say what they want. You can love him, you can hate him. I don't care. The guy won an election, and the media went, wah, as loud as they could for as long as they could. And it was horrible. And you can say that Rob Ford made Toronto a laughingstock. You can say the media made Toronto a laughingstock. The point is, the people chose something. The people said, this is what we want. And, everything just went, no, you can't have that. It's not allowed. We're trying to disqualify. Every day, I would read articles on why he should be disqualified. Why, screw whatever happens in democracy, you need to remove him. We need to just vote him down. Look, if you want recall legislation, push for that. But you don't have it. So right now, the reporting should be on what's happening and how it's affecting real people. Not on what was said, not on what you should worry about, not on what you need to be afraid of, just what's happening in America. That's how I feel. As always, I'm Jason McNeil, host of Cup of Joe Canada. You can hit me on Twitter at Cup of Joe Canada, or you can always get me on the website, email averagejoe@cupofjoecanada.com.